And I question, how will G2 answer? Will they give Orianna to Faker and answer with Azir of their own, or will instead they prioritize the Ori?
Looking at the bans thus far, in the last game,
Azir banned.
Yeah, there's Azir, and I wouldn't be shocked if they end up actually prioritizing the Orianna.
They probably will. They'll give over the Varus. But now it's Varus versus Kalista. I feel like G2 should go for the Varus, but they'll probably go for the Kalista.
I gotta say, might be a novel idea, but what if you're struggling in your 2v2 bot? What if you lane swap?
I mean, maybe they could do it.
Because the thing for me is we keep talking about it, and this is what the series meta has gone down to, right? The mid lane matchup has been so pivotal. I feel like it's been very swingy as well.
Ooh. And when we think about, I was talking to you about this earlier, when you look at what Faker has played this year, they took both of them! They did both!
Okay, so Kalista top of possibility, Kalista support, obviously with lethality, something we have seen from Keria before.
It was he that debuted Kalista support, no?
It's gotta be. I don't think Koma's gonna be like, okay, Zeus, play Kalista top. I don't think we've gone that far yet.
Said play Bane top, I'm just putting it out there.
I know now. You know, no joke, I'd love something like, oh no, they're lane swapping. It's the lane swap. It's the
Lulu. Cracking out game 5. It's
okay, we're swapping.
It's the swap. They're finally doing the swap. They've practiced for so long in game 5. They're bringing the lane swap out. T1 have to recognize that this is happening.
But here's the great subversion of expectations, Betty. You think it's happening, T1 go top lane, you're just in your normal lane again. But there's so many,
what if they see it
variations.
Coming?
No, but I think that even, like, you let G2 swap because you know that your siege is so much faster. You can get so many plates, you can funnel a much greater lead, even if they get out of the early laning phase. Ari for Faker! Oh my goodness! They wanted to make sure he gets something comfortable so that the pool can't be pinched even more, and it's going to lock in one of his all-time favorite champions.
This is such an incredible amount of faith. Because I think Faker today mechanically just hasn't looked that good, and Ari is one of those champions that falls completely flat. T1 stands or falls by Faker, and the Ari has been a pretty popular pick into the Taliyah. At first sight, you might be like, but Ari has dashes, Taliyah counters dashes, but because of the amount of mobility you have with the triple ultimate, actually able to play around.
I was about to ask, will they ban Poppy again? Because it's Kalista Ari.
I mean, they should have. G2 can now take the Poppy.
Typically, G2 would put the Lulu here.
Yep.
You'd have the Demolition Rune is what they did domestically, and then they would move to a side lane and then, you know, do the whole split pushing thing.
I mean, that's why they banned the Jarvan as well, low mobility carries.
Lane swap thing.
Lane swapping. I mean, it's kind of split pushing, just, you know, a few steps removed.
So they're just getting rid of all the dive from Oner. Very likely looking at a Xin Zhao now. Nocturne as well.
That's exciting. Sejuani still does give you good threat on the back line and gives you a tank to stand in front of the Ari. Lee Sin.
It's got to be. Like, I think that this game...
But if they do that, it's Poppy, bro.
Well, I know, but it's Poppy anyway. That's the problem. Maybe you want to look and just lock in, say, the Cassante for topside. Otherwise, T1 must have an amazing plan.
Oner's Lee Sin.
This is the... Again, it's the freeze Poppy angle of all time.
The only thing about the Poppy is, as a support, it doesn't give you that attack speed buff that something like a Lulu would do, so you do lose out. You could put a jungle.
You put a jungle, and then I'm wondering what T1's response is going to be, because Zeus, it might end up being just one of his carries. T1 with a full carry composition would surprise me.
And there's the Poppy!
Oh!
I love this from both teams. I mean, like, G2 just saying, okay, the thing we practiced and comfort, let's just go for it. T1 doing a very similar thing.
When Yike debuted in the LEC, this was one of the early champions that he brought out. Cassante, no surprise from Zeus. Remember that I don't think Cassante's lost in the last 2 days.
Big thing
I don't think so either.
Big thing here is that this time Zeus obviously, even knowing he's going to go into a lane swap, doesn't also go for the self-counter pick with the Poppy going towards the support role. That said though, T1 better blow up this game in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and even with the lane swap, the onus is going to be on them to find huge early leads. Because otherwise, if you look at what G2 have, once you get to mid to late game, no one on T1 is ever going to touch Hansama. And I don't think he's had the best series so far. But if you're a Jinx with Talia and Poppy standing in front of you and a full short-range composition on the other side, the game's got to be yours.
I think that T1 just have like zero utility, right? And that what they do have is like very single target, right? Like their engage is so weak. Compare that to Broken Blade, Mickey, that both have great disengage and engage tools.
But they kill you.
I mean, they do. There's a lot of damage.
Well, that's the
Death
point.
is the best form of CC, Betty.
It's going to be exciting. A lane swap is pretty much guaranteed for G2. We'll see how T1 respond. We're going to Game 5. Oner's Lee Sin is something I'm always excited to see. Yike on his Belveth, comfort across the board. Let's jump into an incredible decider in this series.
Take a moment, take a breath. Probably the last one you're going to get for about 30 minutes. These two teams have butted heads, have battled on the Rift for 4 games, and now it all comes down to this. You paid for your whole seat, you're only going to need the edge of it.
5 years was the last time these two teams went to 5 games. MSI semi-finals 2019, the one that G2 did go to win. The one that us EU fans have been holding on to and have been praying to see that series again, and here we are, seeing it materialized. A rivalry, an international rivalry that has not sparked for a while, but is elating so many fans today. Let's see how things pan out. The lane swap expectation coming through Hansama, hovering around the bot side of the map.
I don't think they're swapping.
They will. They might do the split map strat. They might do the split map into potential bot dives.
Mickey also went for Halo Blades. Just as another confirmation, they're going to be looking to go as aggressive as possible.
It looks like it's going to be a delayed invade into split map.
What you can do early on a lane swap is overload one side of the map to try and get the summoners out, and that's what G2 are doing here. Flash forward from Mickey, puts the buckler down. Gumayusi still has the flash. Yike unable to get close enough. Caps coming in from the side as well. G2 just overloading. Keria's going to start putting some damage down. Guma has to flash. Ward down, Charm though. Caps flashes the walls there, so the Pathmaker first.
It's a 5v5, a blue buff. T1 is committed to denying the split map from G2. So they've matched with 5 people. Zeus being here as well means that it is a very awkward situation. Level 2 trying to be secured by Oner on the Wolves.
And Yike's going to try and stop him from doing it, but he's stepping further forward here. Stun from Mickey. Keria tries to flash away. The Ignite is ticking, but they just don't have the damage to take him out. Yike now trying to escape, but the Pathmaker locks him up against the wall. He has to flash. Oner gets 2. Where's he going to go? Back towards his blue. TP from Broken Blade. Both the flashes of the T1 bot lane are down.
One big thing though with these double Halo Blades lanes is you need to look for level 1 dominance. Keria's already forced back. So that is going to be much harder for him, and Guma also no flashes available on the immobile characters. I think is going to be pretty detrimental.
Oh, Mickey just took a tower shot there. Not ideal with Keria making his way back out into the lane. Of course, he does have the Ignite, but the level advantage that G2 is going to find themselves with. I wonder if they'll push this in and actually look for a swap.
It's a possibility. Hansama get that last minion. Oner obviously ahead in terms of the jungle as well. Yike having to flash back now on the Krugs.
Oh, but they've done this before. You expect them to go for the reset, because why wouldn't you? But Belveth is hovering as well. Yike needs, there it is, level 3 secured for Yike. How suspicious will T1 be? They're skeptical.
Out, Hex Splash into the wall. Guma down. Mickey takes it.
First blood for Mickey. No flash on Gumayusi, ends up working out. They don't need the lane swap. The invade has worked out for G2. And now it's a 700 gold lead in the hands of the European squad.
And particularly with the drop that T1 went for, losing early control is devastating. Guma going down there, worst case scenario as well. Yeah, Keria able to pick up a little bit of the wave, but that's not who you want. And even more pressure now towards the top side of the map here for T1. The one upside, Oner has been able to farm, whereas Yike, as you pointed out, a little bit delayed there. Broken Blade.
Just trading in here, Yike went Scuttle Crab, now still hasn't farmed up that much. Only had a couple of camps. Zeus is going to be forced away. Oner can try and invade here. He's not seen by
Smite
Yike.
used early from Yike. Oner has his available.
Sonic Wave, that's the steal. Oner should be able to get it. Smites it away, waited till it was about 500. And now that's a 2-3 camp lead, in fact, for Oner.
Really good start for Oner. One of the advantages gained for T1. We'll look back at this play. Hex Flash used from Mickey. Knocks Guma into the wall.
That's just nothing Guma can do.
I mean, the heal comes through. I mean, the bad news is that the first blood goes to Mickey, of course. They would have loved to have gotten that gold onto Hans, but they'll take it. The biggest advantage they've gained is, look, the experience. You'll see Hansama about halfway to level 4. Admittedly, with this wave, Guma's not that far off.
Guma was alone under the tower for a while in the early game, so has been able to get that little bit of extra XP. Broken Blade dashing in here, Pathmaker back, Oner looking for the Sonic Wave. Broken Blade does have his flash. Zeus splashed away from the Sonic Wave there, Broken Blade able to survive, but now in a much more precarious situation in the top lane.
Wave in a bit of an awkward spot, but it should get fixed. Caps and Faker just trading back and forth. Faker with a small CS advantage. Broken Blade is going to be a kill!
Zeus dashes away, has popped the ghost. Charm in the mid lane though as Oner's on the board.
The 2v2 of this Ari Lee is going to have to be the thing that digs T1 out of this early deficit. And Oner picking up an early kill, absolutely huge. Broken Blade, even with his flash being forces Zeus to ghost. Neither top laner having their teleport available, particularly in a lane where one of them is resourceless and has a lot more innate sustain. Actually, a really big lead here for Broken Blade, as he's going to be able to push in this next wave as well. And Zeus, just to make sure that he doesn't die, has to back off.
All right, so I was hoping we could get a replay of this. Of course, Caps, no flash available. Applies the slow. Nice flash in from Oner to just increase the likelihood of guaranteeing the charm. That was enough to get them the kill. Faker commits the TP top lane. He's going to go catch that wave. They'll send Zeus off to mid.
It's actually a swap coming out from G2 now, Vedi.
That it is.
Hansama working his way up
They
through
want to
that
get
bot
those
side.
grubs, of course. I mean, it makes sense. Also, get them away from that volatile bot lane 2v2. Keria recognizes what's happening on the map, making his way towards mid.
Big thing here now is that G2, the one thing that I think they still need to be respectful for is the amount of early game skirmishing power this T1 comp has still is absolutely insane. Single kill can start the reset chain for Keria and Faker. G2 not going to be contested here whatsoever as the lane swap comes through.
Importantly for T1 as well, Broken Blade just burnt his flash in the top lane. Obviously, Zac very difficult to kill, but you do have double Halo Blades AD carry in that bot lane. If Broken Blade overextends, there's a possibility you can take him out. Caps has the Weaver's Wall, Zeus is here, Oner standing out of vision. Faker's moving up. Mickey looking for it, Oner still waiting, Zeus hits 6, but it's rooted. Can't go any further. Broken Blade looking for Gumayusi. Flash heal still available for the T180 carry. Keria here to bolster his defenses. Let's bounce from Broken Blade. Just chunks out Gumayusi. Doesn't get a summoner. Zeus now a target. Pathmaker's forward. Gets the stun into a hammer shock against the wall. And Hansama is on the board.
It's the Poppy again. Locks him down. Mickey denies him the opportunity to isolate a target and drag him through the wall to the waiting arms of Oner and Faker. And so many minions are going to be lost here.
Caps is sacrificing a lot to set up his bot lane for success, but 1,000 is the gold lead for Hansama. We saw Guma and Keria locking in this bot lane to win out on the 2v2. But what is happening? They're not getting it. They're not getting the strength of this Varus Kalista. They are being denied it as Guma a full level behind Hansama on this Jinx.
And where are Gumayusi and Keria on the map? Top lane. So where are Hansama and Mickey going? Bot lane. Immediately pathing away from it. There's no grubs for another 2.5 minutes. There's a Drake on this bottom side, and Hansama and Mickey will get pushed through that bot lane. Super Mega Death Rocket coming out here as well.
Just to interrupt the backs.
Just stop the backs. Keria doesn't get to recall.
Oh my god, absolutely brilliant. It's going to delay them so much. Cassante making a beeline back towards top lane. The TP is available for Broken Blade in a minute and a half. It's going to be unleashed. Hans is going to push this wave in as quickly as he can. The question to me is, do G2 want to try and go for an early Drake? They could just choose to sack it. They could say, we don't care, the grubs are our priority, as we want to make sure that we have more sieging power and more play towards these plays. Look, they're hovering. They're faking that they've gone back to base. Guma was skeptical earlier, still lost his life. Let's see if he falls for it again.
Got to be more skeptical this time around, although I do think with No vision whatsoever. Oh no, he's walking back up.
Yike can just go in, Guma's there, looking for the don't lock, immediately double flash from Keria. Mickey dashes away with a heroic charge, Oner's in the river, but that's exactly what G2 wanted. Obviously a kill would have been good, but there's no summoners, no flashes for Guma and Keria.
T1 do start up the dragon here. Does look like that is going to go over. No sums is absolutely huge with the amount of dive that's available for G2. Trying to stay alive against Talia, against Belbev, against Zach. Going to be so much harder. One of the really big things is with this continuous swapping as well, this T1 comp is so reliant on early tempo and finding early skirmishes.
Yep.
So do an objective first, trying to force your opponent to then play into you, and then take them down with your spirit.
Oh, this is beautiful from Zeus. Gets the all out, but broken blade with the left bounce can just heal up from that volatile matter. Elastic slingshot out. It's an ultimate for an ultimate. Zeus popped the ghost as well. Mickey looking for Guma, no flash. Chain of corruption into the zap. He's dead, says Chronicler, and G2 agrees.
T1 is being read like a book. Guma having an incredible series up until this point, but now getting punished left and right by this Poppy that, again, we saw coming like 2 picks in.
I mean, I'm agreeing with you, Chronicler. The Poppy felt like the obvious choice. And Mickey, he's having a stellar game on it once again. The pillar that is Gumayusi is crumbling under the pressure of Mickey's Poppy. And they're going to look to take another shot at the pillar.
Steadfast presence knocked into the wall, and down goes Keria.
A killing spree for Hans Summer. 1.8k the gold leads.
Yike needs to be careful though, because Faker and Oner on the collapse. Broken blade in the top lane. Spirit rush forward, Faker looking for the charm. Yike tries to dodge away, but he doesn't have another dash. There's the charm. Oner gets his second.
This is the saving grace for T1, Faker and Oner. This mid-jungle duo, you mentioned it earlier, Chronicler. If they can keep finding these skirmishes, there is an angle back into this game.
That said, they're still going to have to find a way to reliably get on top of Hans, which is just hard to imagine, even with how good T1's team fighting can be. The last game, we're in control very early on, 2-level lead here.
If they can get one of these, he gets the mites for his team. Not huge, he almost got one, but can't quite do it. T1 will secure 3 apiece.
Wait, bot lane again, look. They've just spotted Keria on the grubs, which means that Gumayusi going to be denied even more farm. This is the first time in a long time I've seen Gumayusi at this kind of deficit.
He's been the carry for this team so often through this split. Probably the best performing player, maybe alongside Faker, depending on who you ask, through 2024. But here he is 3 levels down on Caps as Mickey goes on to Faker. Hammer shot coming out. The chase continues with Mega Death Rocket. Not quite enough to kill off Faker, but that's the flash burn from the T1 mid laner.
Still no flash on the Ahri. Going to take away a lot of the offensive capabilities, make it harder to make plays under the Talia as well. There's a possible bot lane dive, might be imminent here. Faker does get his back off though, and teleport's available, so I want to, maybe G2 should exercise some caution.
Not just a Weaver's Wall into Guma dying here. Cap stepping forward, Weaver's Wall not used. Seismic shove enough. Base call will pull out Gumayusi. Mickey's running up towards the rest of T1. A kill over to T1, good reactions.
G2 getting a little predictable there.
Faker going with the spear rush,
nice
charm,
charm.
Hans Summer cleanses it, Oner looking for the Sonic Wave, Hans Summer does have the flash, we're away from the Tempest Cripple, Dragon's Rage, Sonic Wave, Chaos flashes away as well, as Oner's taken down to half HP, and T1 are looking for more, they can see blood in the water, Sonic Wave just wide from Oner.
Faker and Oner make their presence known. Chronicler called out the TP, and it felt like the G2 just overcommitted to the play. Caps gets a nice knockback onto Gumayusi, but it wasn't quite enough, thanks to the ultimate from Keria bringing him to safety. I think Mickey's game plan was to just try and lure T1 away from the remaining G2 members so that they could escape, but T1 saying very loud, very clearly, we're not out of this game just yet.
Biggest win there, I think, for T1 is the double summoners that were taken from Hans Sama. No flash, no cleanse.
It's very true.
On this Jinx. But at the same time, like, looking at the setup, right now is not really where you need your Jinx to be the main character. Like, yes, Hans Sama is fed, but the base damage of Poppy is still really, really high. You have a Belvev who, while behind the Lee, still, with the Kraken Slayer, is going to be able to do a whole lot, and we've already seen how much damage Broken Blade can do on the Zac as well.
And this is where Zac's just base numbers are so powerful.
Yep.
Obviously, he scales up with his health, with his opponent's health, but early doors, you just have so much raw power in your kit. It's a 2,000 gold lead right now for G2.
Worth noting that Cap's suddenly back in the game, by the way. He was down like 20 CS, a full level. Now they're dead even. Not quite sure how he's been able to pull that one off, but even after all the early pressure, he's been able to find impact once again, keeping up with Faker wherever he can, playing safe in the mid lane as Yike hovers around the top side of the map.
And Yike would really like to take this Rift Herald, get your true form early on. Gives you so much more power on the Bel'Veth. Mickey, oh, flash away by Gumayusi.
I mean, he gets
That's
what he
all
wants.
Mickey really wanted, as you say. Bel'Veth, though, still on the Rift Herald. Stretching strike across, and Guma has no flash, but he dodges away from the Elastic Slingshot, and now the TP's invested by Zeus as he wants to join the party. Weaver's Wall will separate T1 a little bit.
T1 know as well, he can't give up the Rift Herald to a Bel'Veth, and this composition already is so reliant on getting early leads. If G2 get the Herald, one big punish tool is taken away as Caps.
Oner going in, safeguards forward, dodges the seismic shove, misses the Sonic Wave, and Caps just dances away from everything in mid lane. Tower going down in the top lane. Rift Herald started, I think, by Mickey as well as G2 know that Oner's path down towards that bottom side.
Incredible awareness from Caps. He was so suspicious after seeing Oner in the river. Remember that Caps earlier used the ultimate to lock off Gumayusi and Keria from escape, but once Zeus' TP came through, he also gained information on Oner in the river, and he was afraid of a potential dive. They avoid it, they secure the Herald, and while conceding the Dragon, they continue to funnel more gold into Han Sama.
One of the biggest pieces of criticism that was there for T1, particularly in, say, 2022, was the way that their drops would very often go towards what they like without taking really into account what their opponents were doing. And I feel like we're seeing some hints of that here as well. To add insult to injury, right now, the 2 Drake lead ends up being a Chemtech Soul, which definitely going to be the least amount of value that you could have as Mickey.
Faker has no flash. I mean, this would be so greedy for Mickey to go for this play.
Hands can't give it away, though.
Looking for vision. Mickey steps forward. The auto's going to chase him. Look at the buckler go. It's zooming. Bonk.
You went for conk, not bonk?
I went bonk. I said bonk.
Oh, I thought you said conk.
That's because I went.
I'm glad we were syncing up. Only took us 5 games.
Clear one in the bot lane, though,
gonna secure
G2.
another tower.
So synced that we say exactly the same thing.
That's
at the
you
same
two.
time.
That's you two, okay? That's not on me.
Oh man, I'm so happy right now. This series has completely delivered, and I'm not going to count T1 out just yet. Faker and Oner, I've seen this duo achieve incredible things before, and I think that they can do it in this game. Hans is in a great spot, but his flash is still on cooldown.
Faker coming across here into the steadfast presence. The stun doesn't quite land as Yike dashes forward, dashes back. The true form allowing him to dodge over those walls. Oner looking for Caps. Caps gonna face check, safeguard, knock back, Sonic Wave, sizing shove, dodged. Caps trying to get back to Han Sama, and he'll do it. Yike! The body block from him. Caps, dashes away, but the Foxfire chases him. Oner looking for more as Yike tries to escape. Chain of Corruption on Han Sama. He cleanses away from it. Once again, it's Caps getting caught. That gives T1 a little bit of an in back into the match.
Caps holding on to his flash throughout that entire exchange. Likely because T1 can't really convert this into anything. It is a kill, and it's a valuable thing to grab, especially giving it over to Faker. But it doesn't result in an objective gained. Mickey Hand still hover around mid. Faker going to be sent to bot lane. Caps has the TP available. Yikes, still so squishy though. Gumayusi kind of having a field day when he's able to land these arrows.
One of the big things though, that T1 are going to have to find a way to deal with is once Broken Blade starts joining fights. Because no one on the team actually is good at taking down tanks.
It's a good point.
Particularly not when you have 2 lethality carries in an Ahri.
Yeah, Malignant's Lichbane Ahri as well.
Exactly. So not going to get any help with when it comes to killing Broken Blade from that. You see here, Caps just walking into unwarded territory. Oner catching him off guard, and then here, so close to making it out alive.
I'm surprised he doesn't just flash over the wall. I think he could have got out, but
yeah.
In any case, he loses his life. Medic called it, the W from Ahri, securing the kill in the end. 4-4 now, the kill score, 2k the goal difference.
And such an important series for these two teams. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but it was way back when in 2019, the last time G2 were able to take a best of 5 against T1.
In 2020, they couldn't even get a game off them.
Yep. It was a long, hard road back for G2 towards the heights of 2019. I'm not going to say that's anywhere near where they are, but this victory is a step on the road for them. For T1, international best of 5s are their kryptonite.
It's it's the Game 5, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, against KT, they were able to win, but KT has got a bunch of stuff going on themselves.
There's other history
as I'm sure you guys know, knowing lore. But particularly, you know, the game against RNG, the Game 5, the game against DRX, that's the one that everyone is going to immediately think of when they were so close to ending, still not able to make it through. And then very recently, we had the fifth game against Gen G, again denying them. Right now, mid lane turret is imminent to fall with this Herald dropping in.
I mean, even last year, JDG in the upper bracket, didn't they also lose the Game 5, knocking them down into the lowers? The pressure is on. Broken Blade has joined the fight. Dragon, 54 seconds.
Oh, yeah, he's going to ride this one away. Dashes across. Oner knocked into the wall. Wow! Shot. The Earth shot charged away, but the Higgs to TP in by Caps. T1 trying to retreat because already they have lost. Oner stretching, strike into the all-out. Broken Blade pulled across the wall. Here the last thing shot out of the spear rush. Faker, he finds Summer, and every time you count him out, Faker is there to find the fight. TP behind now by Faker. Mickey and Yike trying to run away. Another charm onto Caps. Faker no spirit rush, no flash, but Caps has no HP left.
Faker is him, and he continues to prove why. An incredible pick onto Han Summer, converts into a TP flank, and they're not done just yet.
Oh, big thing here, though, is that right now they're not able to allow them to go for Baron. I think they will end up dying, but denying the Baron from T1 is still big.
Broken Blade survived for a very long time here, goes back into the Cell division. Faker and Keria start to retreat. Zeus here to try and back up. But Broken Blade back to half HP. Super Mega Death Rocket up in 5 seconds.
Oh,
if Han Summer can find a snipe onto Faker, not quite able to do it. Faker and Keria do their due diligence and back away in a safe spot.
You just can't underestimate this man. In what looked like a one-sided fight for G2, they were going to get themselves the Dragon, start to snowball this game. This is where it starts. Oner gets locked up by Mickey. A great initiation as the 3-person knock-up into the follow-up from Broken Blade. But just keep your eyes on Faker in this play. Nice ulti from Zeus to drag away the front line. And then Faker, out of nowhere, with the control ward, finds that charm and flashes away. Beautiful, just beautiful from Faker.
The man was having one of the worst series I've seen from him in recent years. And that pick, in of itself, not going to be enough. Still a gold lead for G2. But it's showcasing the backline threat that T1 have. If it gets messy, if it gets scrappy, I think big there as well is that while the initial knockup from Mickey, I think, found 3 people, the follow-up from Broken Blade only hit onto Oner, so they were able to take him down, but the backline was able to make their way back, and it forced G2 to further extend, or rather, they opted into further extending.
That was a great play from Faker. The question is, can he keep finding those plays?
Not
because
enough.
we saw how difficult these fights are going to be with the engage from G2. And that circumstance was a bit of an overextension with which Faker was incredible at punishing. But can they do it again? Because it's going to be relying on Oner and Faker to keep finding these plays. Level 14 for the Ahri. The Medjais could very well come soon. He's got 6 stacks on his ring so far. And this game is delivering.
Gumayusi has the edge of night. Chain of Corruption already used. Weaver's wall in by Caps. Guma flashes. Yike with the knock-up seismic shot. Fates call out. TP in now by T1 as they look to take the fight. Zeus locked up for a moment and Yike is deleted. Oner found the flag, but now he'll fall. Zeus on the backline onto Han Summer. Flash away. Mickey's trying to body block, but Zeus goes all out. He got him! This once. Faker dives into the backline. Caps next up for Zeus. And Faker's on a rampage. Caps just can't get through Zeus. He is not bad enough. And the flash away from Caps buys him a second, but that's all it's going to be. You can't buy class, and Faker's here to fight.
And of all people, the person criticized most in Game 5 was Zeus, but his Cassante there drew so much attention, created so much space, and now T1 on a gold lead. But again, crucially, G2 pulled them away from the Baron, so the game stays even. And I know we're 23 minutes in, but I hope this one lasts much, much longer.
The momentum has just completely shifted. They thought they'd caught Guma out. Caps even walls him off to force the flash, but this TP was so crucial. Keria brings back his AD carry. G2 is now funneled into this choke point. A great kick from Oner results in an exchange of junglers, but Zeus finds his target. He locks down the AD carry, forces the flash out from Hansama, gets to Knocker, brings him back in range, and then Faker with his mobility finds access onto the backline. A great team fight from T1 once again.
And the Fate's call. That was really what I think the one thing that G2 didn't calculate. Thought that they had the immobile AD carry. Wasn't enough of Zeus. Is he going to be in trouble?
I don't think so. I think Mickey's just being a nuisance more than anything else.
He is also Cassante, yeah. So I always overestimate how much damage that champion takes.
Hansama decelerated in this game. Only Infinity Edge crack can still complete on him. He is building up towards his next item, but Faker has 3 Banshees, Lichbane, and the Malignance. Zeus here, knocked back with the seismic shot, but you just see how little damage they do. Caps only has 2 items. Leandri's Seraph's not going to work his way through.
I mean, this champion is just so strong. Level 14, he's about to hit level 15. No penetration items yet on the side of G2, which means that they are barely going to tickle him. Ahri being sent off to a side lane. Level 16 going to be secured for Faker in a moment. The dragon is spawning soon. He's just a little bit off it. But here comes the TP back to mid. He knows the collapse is happening.
Faker will be fine. We talked a lot about how are T1 going to kill Broken Blade on this Zac. The flip side is also true. If Hans dies...
Mickey looked up, and Mickey is down. Broken Blade's going to elastic slingshot out, but immediately pings to Baron. T1 know exactly what they want out of this situation. Mickey up in 25 seconds, but T1, it looks like, are just going to get this Baron uncontested. G2 playing through mid. Can they get there in time?
Faker controlling the vision. They don't know where he is. They have to face check into him. There's the charm.
Yike, smite to get off the Banshee's Veil. Spirit Rush away by Faker. Baron down to a 10,000. Super Mega Death Rocket from G2. Mickey on his way. Oner on the flank. Faker still has 2 Spirit Rush charges as T1 continue to chip away at the Baron. It's down to 6,000. Spirit Rush forward. Charm. Zeus on that front line. Yike having to dash away. Broken Blade locked up and Tofu's back. Zeus down to half HP. Faker no Spirit Rush left. The Baron's still low as Oner's looking to smite it. He'll get it. But will Zeus fallen when the resets happen for G2? Onto the backline goes Mickey. Keria's almost taken him out. Keria almost falls himself. Oner dives in. Hansama just needs 1 to really open up. Oner goes down. G2 have lost 2 already though, and Zeus can dash back in. Hansama, only the cleanse flash. Can G2 do it from here? Cell division in by Broken Blade. The Baron already secured by T1, but G2 do not want them to get out without a fight. Weavers will forward. Faker low on mana. Chain of Corruption, Edge of Night popped. Gumayusi almost falling, but is able to dodge away from the seismic shove. And T1 are on the wrong side of the map right now. Any TPs up, no one up for 30 seconds. Elastic slingshot forward, and Keria will pull him out with a Fate's Call, but Keria's down now. Guma next up for Broken Blade, who flashes away from the piercing arrow, and Guma goes down. Faker, no mana left on him. The TP behind as G2 begins to collapse. Faker, how the hell do you get out of this one? I don't think you do. Get some mana, he escapes the honey fruit, but T1 gets Faker out alive.
And the man just walks it off, but G2 still take out all the Baron buffs.
Wait, we're not over yet, because remember that the dragon is still up. Caps commits the TP. Zeus is back in the fight. Yike is back out on the map, and the dragon is still alive. This is sole point for T1.
Oh no flash, but does have a smite. The Sonic Wave across the wall. G2 secured the Scuttle Crab. Faker on his way. Has a flash of his own. Flash charm, a possibility. Broken Blade takes the blast cone. Zeus trying to beat that front line for Oner. Faker flanking. G2 unaware, but the dragon secured by G2 now. Will they go for more? They've been greedy a couple of times this game. Instead, now they start to back away. Faker lying in wait. Boxed by no charm. Broken Blade escapes.
That's going to be the bounty picked up for G2 as well, off of the back of that Baron, even though it's almost a 1k negative Rebel Baron power play. And the key thing here this time around, yes, Zeus buys a lot of time. Yes, T1 gets the Baron, but Hansama isn't threatened this time around.
But just watch Oner. I feel like T1 is out at this point. An amazing ultimate here from Zeus to get away to safety.
He goes over the rocks.
But look at Oner here. He just goes back in. He stuns himself. He gives he gives G2 the ability to re-engage. And once those resets start to pop off, that is where G2 come alive in the fight. We have to get back to live, though. We got to get back to live.
We saw this. They chased them for a while, guys. T1 pushing in bot. That Baron obviously going to expire relatively soon. They lost 1,000 gold out of it. Good. It's a good chase by G2. Good job, Broken Blade. This is a nice flash. Well done. Faker tries to re-engage, but he just can't kill off Caps. And then obviously he takes the honey fruit to escape.
Doesn't have the mana. By the end of it, though, this game is still basically exactly where we began at the start of the
Look
Baron
at the
play.
vision bot lane and TP available for Faker. About to hit level 17. Hans needs to be extremely careful.
Oh, the flanking angle. You're right, Vedi.
I mean, I'm just keeping my eyes on bottom. The pings have happened.
Yeah. This is
Faker
TP.
knows.
Zeus no TP. Hans Summer does have flash cleanse. He has Mickey to back him up as well. Broken Blade, elastic slingshots away, and you feel like every moment on the edge of the abyss, on a precipice, a knife's edge for this game.
Take a look. Attempted play there from T1.
Has flash, stretching strike, face call. Big ultimate out.
But he's brought away to safety. Dragon and Baron, 2.5 to 3 minutes away.
What a series!
An incredibly tense
Holy
game.
moly!
I mean, I will say, the way these fights have been playing out, I'm starting to favor the way T1 are executing them. Yes, on paper, you'd think the front to back should be in G2's favor, but still no armor penetration on the side of Hans Summer. He's barely going to be able to get through this level 16 behemoth that is Zeus. The poke is still very relevant from Gumayusi, who, even after all his early struggles, actually has the XP advantage over Hans. And honestly, Yike is doing nothing in these fights. This Belveth has so little impact compared to what Oner is capable of doing. It's ultimately going to come down to execution. Flashes are plenty on the side of T1. Same can be said for G2. Baron 2 minutes away as T1 set vision control up around the top side of the map.
I think the important thing is when Hans Summer gets Lord Doms. If he gets it before the next fight, I think it entirely changes the landscape of the fight. He's now got a Zeal, though. No Lord Doms for Hans Summer. I guess the only armor really sitting on Zeus, but I feel you want to be able to make your way through that tank.
Guma clearing the wave, Edge of Night giving him so much safety. You'd see as well, as soon as Keria gets his ult up again, he's much more willing to step forward, really respecting the impact of this Zac. And that is one thing that I do think we're gonna now actually see, is that Broken Blade is free 1 and free, has his Jack Show's Spirit Visage, and his Sunfire as well. Faker did actually upgrade his Magi's, but he's also not built, which I don't think he should build any form of magic penetration. I think he should be looking to kill the #1 target, which is Hans.
Regardless of the outcome of this series, I'm just so grateful that both of these teams have showed both the highs and lows of what they are capable of. An incredible best of 5. 32 minutes in, we're getting closer to the end. A single fight could determine the outcome of the whole game.
And do you remember 4 days ago when everyone was saying, oh, it's just 3-0s until the upper bracket?
That's what they said.
Holy moly.
I think we've never been happy to be wrong. You know, everyone wants to
so
see
happy
this.
To be wrong.
Everyone wants to see the competitive series. Yesterday, we were treated. I mean, and this one feels like dessert.
LEC fans are on the precipice of feeling that hope once again.
I mean, of the biggest victory for the LEC since 2019, I think. Yeah.
But here we go. Baron returns to the Rift right now. G2 have mid control. The dance back and forth. Zeus is not losing any HP. Faker connects the charm. Really nice damage onto Yike. He's going to be forced to back off.
Drake and Baron alive in 20 seconds. Baron already up, of course. Yike goes across, gets some health. Mickey takes a bit of a chunk from Zeus, who is on that front line. Edge of Night on Gumayusi, giving him a bit of protection. Banshee's Veil on Faker too. They don't know that Faker's there. Chain of Corruption just short. T1 trying to wrestle control of the mid lane to get into this river. No vision there for G2. Sonic Wave on Broken Blade spots him out. Caps trying to get the mid lane control once again. Oner going in, pulled back with a stretching strike, but Broken Blade more of a nuisance than anything. Caps down to half HP. Yike dashing forward. Faker doing the same. Faker goes in with the split of charm going short. As Yike lands the knock-on, he gets a stretching strike back, and Faker's locked against the wall. And Faker is down, buried beneath the earth. Can G2 find even more. Hansama stepping forward, but look how low Yike is. T1 can still turn this fight back on its head. Zeus no flash, obviously he's running the ghost, but he does have Q3 right now as it landed onto Caps. Zeus going in, knocked back. Mickey dashes into the wall as Oner's locked up. Hansama dodging away from the Sonic Wave, and can he really open up? Not quite. Broken Blade's going to go into the Cell Division. The seismic shot just short. Broken Blade likely to fall here. Yike was trying to heal himself back up, but Broken Blade goes down. Another Q from Zeus. He finds his mark, and T1 march down the mid lane.
You might be able to take out Faker, but the real raid boss is Zeus. This man just will not fall. They don't have the damage to kill him. And as long as he stands strong, T1's team fighting is still alive.
And that's the engage gone. No one on G2 can come close. As T1, Faker is about up. Yeah, they'll get a Camtech Drake, but that's not what you're going to be looking towards. Keria, he's harassing Faker is there.
Faker goes in, there's the charm, cleansed away by Hansama. The charm actually came out second. Even I was deceived as Hansama was. Faker showing exactly why he is the GOAT.
The Baron is secured. Caps.
He has Banshees.
He has the Banshees.
Baron is taken by T1.
With Hansama gone, that's 40 seconds. T1 maybe... Okay, maybe an end is a little ambitious. The wave clear is still there from Caps.
Only one minion here, the next wave on its way, about 5 seconds away. Keria dashing forward. Gumayusi has that lethality, but Mana Moon alongside it. Weaver's Wall will stop the minion wave. 20 seconds on Hansama. T1 can still push in. The minions, they're having a little trip going to see the pandas, but they'll make their way out of the jungle and make their march down the mid lane. Hansama still 10 seconds away. T1 maybe just go for the inhibitor, but maybe even more. Can sense blood in the water, can close out the series. Yike was going for the flank, but can't find it. T1 back away before taking the inhib.
I don't know if G2 have enough damage to get through Zeus in these extended fights. It is just a battle of the front lines, but it's Broken Blade who's falling first. Faker now with the death cap.
Sold his Medjais for it.
He's so strong. And yes, in the previous fight, he fell short. Caps took a lot of damage to start things off. Great poke from the bot lane of T1. Faker fully commits onto Yike, misses the charm, gets knocked up. Flash in from Broken Blade. Follow-up flash from Mickey. They get the kill. At this point, you're thinking this is a great position for G2 to be in, but they've taken so much damage already. And now in the extended fight, Zeus is just a raid boss that will not move. Caps gets knocked back. The damage from Gumayusi and Keria is still good. You think that the backline dive from G2 is enough, but Zeus is just zoning everyone away.
It's also just, I feel like G2 not on the same page there, right? Have the team, like, yes, Caps is zoned away, but I don't think that's the case for Hans. He's full health. As the summoners available, you gotta step up there if the rest of your team is making a play for the backline, but it's not the case. Rebel Baron power play now almost free K for T1, but they still don't have the inhib, and that's crucial. But if their backline can stay safe, I don't know if G2 can make it, especially because, again, there's no LDR.
Yeah. G2 are going to try and collapse on Zeus, who was pushing him in. Seismic shove going out, but the all-out to dodge the CC from Zeus. His Cassante in these last 2 games has been a wonderful sight to see. T1 now use that pressure, push in the bot lane. They don't need the inhibs yet. The Weaver's Wall coming out. Keria on the wrong side of it, but he's got the flash. Chain of Corruption going wide as T1 look to make their final advance into the base of G2. Zeus keeping Broken Blade at bay. Yike looking for an engage. Super Mega Death Rocket hits onto Gumayusi, who does have flash. Keria, remember, has just burnt his. Faker no flash either, but he's got that Banshee's Veil. He's got that veil of safety that G2 have been unable to penetrate. Now the inhibitor in the mid lane, T1's target. And G2 just can't get in. Zeus dashes forward, but that's double inhib to T1.
Oh, and double inhib. That's so hard to come back from because this is going to chain into what probably will be a Camtech Soul for T1. Is Mickey!
Mickey charmed up! Mickey put in the dirt, 6 feet under. Maybe sure to be followed by G2. The seismic shot on Oner, but the Chain of Corruption lands onto Caps. And a stopwatch can only buy you a second to stop and watch your team be ruined by T1. This far and no further. This close and no closer. For G2, this was the day they almost beat T1. For T1, it's just another Friday.